Hey everyone, it's Will here from Singletrack, and I'm about to go for a trail ride out here at the Harcourt MTB Park, also known as the Larr Ba Gauwa MTB Park. It's about half an hour south of Bendigo, probably an hour to an hour and a half drive north of Melbourne. And this is a purpose-built mountain bike park. I think there's about a dozen or so trails here, 34 kilometers of purpose-built mountain bike single track. I ride here fairly often. It's a great place for testing bikes. It's got a really good mix of riding. I've got the Canyon Neuron CF test bike. Now, I've had this bike for about 2 months now, and I'm about to wrap up with it very, very soon. I'll be doing a review for singletrackworld.com, and you'll also be able to see a video on our YouTube channel too. But I've got some final testing to do. So what I thought is I'd whack on a chest mount, put on a microphone, and bring you guys along for the ride. Yeah, so a bit of fun really, but cockatoos for noisy. Shh. Right, so I'm going to get my riding kit on. We're going to get on the bike and bring you along for the ride. So let's go. Just a nice cruisy intermediate trail to start off with, just to warm up the legs. You'll probably be able to see that I have a GoPro on chest mount here. Also got a GoPro on the handlebar there. Hello. So you should get a bit of a reasonable view of the trails, and also hopefully lots of exciting crash footage as well. I've totally jinxed myself now, haven't I? Got a nice few tight switchbacks coming up here. Should be testing both my fitness and this bike's uphill handling. Oh, come on, come on. Yes, 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 yes. Woo. Rightio, so this is the main hub for the northern trails. So today I'm going to do track 3 straight ahead. 2 of my favourite trails on this side. So track 3's got a nice rocky start off. Here we go. Oop. Bit sandy, this trail surface. It's certainly keeps you on your toes. The rocks are very, very grippy. It's like Velcro really. But then you've got that interspersed with this loose, dusty, sandy stuff, and it's quite a difference between the two surfaces. So you're probably going to see me wash out from time to time. It's been very dry here. We've not had rain for, oh gosh, weeks. And certainly since last time I came riding here, I can tell it's a whole lot dustier. Starting to get that, whoa, deeper kind of washier. Oh yeah, I can feel the back end sliding out there. I'm just gonna have to take it easy today. Man, it's loose. It's like riding on millions of ball bearings. Oop. Finished track 3. Now we're on to track 5, and it's got this really tricky climb to start off with. Oh, and you've got to keep the power down there. Oh, yeah, a bit rocky and lumpy through there. Now, if I remember rightly, this climb is also pain in the bum. See if I can get around it. Oh, oh. No. Whew. Whew. Well, the riding out here, you don't just get technical descents, you get technical, tricky climbs, and that's something you don't always see at machine-built trail centres, or purpose-built trail centres, I should say. A lot of the time the emphasis is on the descending, but it's nice to have some good challenging climbs, especially for me, testing out bikes. After all, this is a trail bike and it has to go uphill as well as down. Whew. Still making our way up track 5. Oh, another awkward climb. Oh, you've just got to keep on the power, which this Neuron does really well. Very efficient pedaling. Whew, nearly at the top. Rightio, it is getting very hot out here, so I'm not going to talk for too long, but I'll give you a bit of a look at the Neuron. This is a medium size Neuron CF 9.0 SL, so it's middle of the range for the carbon Neuron platform. Up front, I've got the stock handlebar and stem. I've played around with different width handlebars and different length stems, and I'll talk about that later on in the review. But at the moment, I've got these ergon grips, which I was chatting to you about before. These are the GE1 Evo factory grips, really nice soft compound, but they're actually slightly wider on the end here. They're flared and they kind of widen the effective width of the handlebar, which is really cool. Got different wheels and tires. I'm running a faster tire on the back here at the moment. Some slightly lighter Santa Cruz Reserve wheels. I've got a ergon saddle on here. Not a big fan of the stock Canyon saddle. This one is fantastic, very, very comfortable. And the other big change is this fork. Now, this is a Fox 34 float, and that's what the bike comes with originally. The difference with this fork here is it's actually a shorter offset. Now, I've stolen this from another test bike, a giant Trance 29er, and this has a 44mm offset. The stock fork comes with a 51mm offset. This is purely for my own experimentation. I was really interested to see what the handling would be like with the shorter offset fork. So that's what I'm testing today, or one of the things I'm testing today. Same travel, 130mm, it's the same platform, the Fox 34. Really just getting a feel for the front end handling on this bike to see what it's like with that shorter offset. All right, back on the trail. Now we're going to start to descend a bit more on this trail. Track 5. This is good fun. Nice and rocky through here. Again, that granite rock is so grippy. Oh, nice and chunky in there. Got to pick your line. Don't want to plow your wheel right in between two big rocks. Wouldn't that be a shame with two operational cameras on my bike? All right. Oop. And this Neuron feels pretty stable on this sort of steeper, rougher trails. The suspension isn't buttery though, that's for sure. Definitely a lot more feedback through the pedals. Whoa! Oh, yeah. So chopped up. Woo. Rightio, so far we have been on the Northern Trail Hub and we've done track 3 and the Black Diamond one, track 5. We've also ridden track 2 and we've come down here, track 1, and we're now at the map board here. This is the southern end of Harcourt. So we're down here. I think I'm gonna do track 7. That's quite a fun trail. Right, so I'm gonna use this opportunity whilst rolling along track 7. I wanted to chat about the short offset fork. Out of the box, this Neuron CF comes with a 130mm travel Fox 34. Fantastic fork. It has a 51mm offset, which is pretty standard for a 29er. And it has a 67.5 degree head angle. So not super slack. You know, it's definitely on the more nimble side as far as handling goes. And I have been finding on kind of really rough descents, steeper descents with tight, awkward, steep corners, is that the handling is, I wouldn't say twitchy per se, but direct and sharp. I think the front end of this bike is just it could be a bit longer. So the 433mm reach, it's comfortable for sure, and it suits this bike well as far as its intentions. But I do think Canyon could have squeezed out a little bit more descending stability and control with a slightly longer front center. Now, obviously I can't test that. I can't make the frame any longer, and I can't test a large because I'm already struggling to fit on the medium as far as the saddle height is concerned with that long seat tube. So initially, to try and get a little bit more descending stability and control, I did put on a wider handlebar, an 800mm handlebar, and I matched it to a 40mm stem. Now, I like the wider bar, but the shorter stem made the steering more twitchy. Sped it up a little bit too much again, and it didn't really achieve what I wanted it to. I think in this case, the standard bar and stem setup, they do fit really well. So getting back to front end stability, I thought, well, one option I do have is to try a different fork offset. I have a giant Trance 29er in the test fleet at the moment, and has pretty much the same fork as the Canyon. It's a 130mm travel Fox 34 float. It does have a shorter 44mm fork offset. Now, 7mm in fork offset doesn't sound a whole lot. That's a pretty small change. I thought it'd be worth giving it a go because I had the option. So at the moment we've got the 44mm offset fork on the front of the Canyon, and this is my second ride on it, and it's pretty much had the desired effect that I was hoping for. We've increased the trail slightly, so the steering axis is a little bit further forward of the tyre contact patch now, and it's definitely steadied the steering on faster descents or just faster trails in general. You can definitely feel the front tyre sticking a bit more, though it does come at the expense of really tight, flat switchback corners where the 51mm offset gives you more intuitive and sharper steering. 44mm offset, the shorter one I've got on here, it'll still get around the tight stuff. You just got to work harder for it. But it's been interesting trying this bike with this reduced offset to see how it affects the handling and perhaps how much more stability we could get out of the chassis. On these faster corners here, the steering is just, it's less hesitant than with the longer offset. So I'm finding, well, there you go. I was talking about traction and front end stability. Oh, still riding on sandy ball bearings though. Glad I saved that though. That was pretty impressive, eh? Right, so back to this Canyon. I think in general though, out of the box, it's a solid trail bike for sure. Definitely errs on the more XC side of things. You know, this is a very lively and efficient, direct bike to ride, and it definitely places just as much emphasis on climbing ability as it does on its descending. So good for those who want to earn their turns. Now after that last incident, I'm just going to take these corners a little bit more gently. Definitely would prefer not to wash out, that's for sure. Woo. Oh yeah. Oh, this is pretty fun. Sandy, but good fun. Woohoo! Oh yeah. Ooh. Woo. Watch that sand. Now we're starting to get in the latter part of track 7. Ooh. Climby bits. Oh, whoa. Even losing traction there on the front tire. A steep climb. Definitely not the tire or the bike's fault. Just very challenging conditions. Oh, can I make it? Can I make it? Can I make it? Yes! Oh, bit of body contortionism there. Whoa. Tight right-hander into a tight and loose left-hander. Lots of loose little rocks there. Oh man, this is so good. You can probably see every now and then green things flying in the air, and those are grasshoppers that are just hanging out till I come along and disturb them. Oh, there's that over the top line. Kangaroos bouncing around. Oh, there's a big fella there. Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm just hanging out. Hey, little fella. All right, I'll see you next time. Just don't bounce out of onto the trail in front of me. Ugh. Nice awkward kind of rock garden coming here. And then into a tight uphill. Oh gosh. Geez, these trails make you work for it, that's for sure. Oh man, this is really washed out through here. Chunky, rocky granite. Keep me on my toes. Woo. And this long grass makes it really hard to spot the berms in the corners. Oh, there we go. And we've finished track 7. Ay, ay, ay. I'm knackered. Well, that's the end of track 7, and it's getting pretty damn hot now, so I'm going to call it a day. That's actually been a really good ride. Glad to have tested the shorter fork offset on here. That's been really interesting. I'll be working on the full review of this 2019 Canyon Neuron CF 9.0 SL. You'll be able to read that on singletrackworld.com in the coming few days. If you've got any questions for me in the meantime, drop them into the comment section below. Let me know what feedback you've got, any questions you've got, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Right, I'm going to get out of the sunshine, get home, and get a cold drink into me, and maybe go for a swim, I reckon. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.